Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll take a journey back in time to explore the fascinating world of ancient fashion. Specifically, we'll dive into the exquisite garments worn by the pharaohs, the powerful rulers of ancient Egypt. The pharaohs were not just political leaders, but they were also considered divine beings on earth. As such, their clothing played a significant role in showcasing their power, wealth, and connection to the gods. So get ready to be amazed by the vibrant colors, intricate designs, and rich symbolism that adorn the pharaoh's wardrobe. When we think of the pharaohs, images of immense power, wealth, and luxury come to mind. But what did they actually wear? The answers might surprise you. The pharaohs, the legendary rulers of ancient Egypt, were known for their extravagant lifestyle. Their clothing was no exception. The ancient Egyptians believed that the pharaohs were divine beings on earth, and their attire reflected their status. They wore clothes made from the finest linen, wool, and leather, often dyed in rich colors like gold, blue, and red. These colors had special meanings in Egyptian culture, with gold symbolizing the sun god Ra and blue representing the sky. Red, too, held religious significance, being associated with courage and strength. The pharaohs also wore elaborate headdresses and jewelry to signify their power. They weren't afraid to make a statement. To understand the pharaoh's wardrobe, we need to look at the materials, colors, and styles they favored. Linen was the primary material used for clothing in ancient Egypt. It was made from the flax plant and was prized for its durability and comfort in the hot climate. The Egyptians also used wool, which was imported from other regions, and leather for more durable garments. For the elite, clothing was more than just a necessity. It was a way to display their wealth and power. Pharaohs and nobles could afford finer materials like linen and wool, and could adorn themselves with intricate patterns and decorations that signified their status. The pharaoh's crown was one of the most important symbols of their power. Different crowns represented different aspects of the pharaoh's authority. The double crown, for example, symbolized the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt. Headdresses like the nenis, a striped cloth head wrap, and the uraeus, a cobra symbol, also played a significant role in conveying the pharaoh's status and divine connection. The pharaohs also wore elaborate jewelry, including gold necklaces, bracelets, and rings. These accessories not only showcased their wealth, but also served as a way to communicate their power and protect them from harm. Some jewelry pieces bore religious symbols like the ankh, a symbol of life, or scarabs, which represented the sun god Ra. Egyptian fashion was not limited to the men. Queens were equally stylish. Famous queens like Cleopatra and Nefertiti set trends of their own. Their clothing often featured bold colors, intricate patterns, and precious materials, making them stand out as powerful and influential women. Queen Hatshepsut, for example, often wore a red beard to emphasize her connection to the divine. While the pharaohs were known for their distinctive fashion choices, the common people of ancient Egypt had their own style as well. Due to the hot climate, the majority of people, mostly farmers and laborers, wore simple clothing made from linen. This type of dress was comfortable, lightweight, and practical for daily activities. Men typically wore a loincloth, while women donned a floor-length dress or a skirt-like garment. Clothing for the lower classes wasn't as ornate as the pharaoh's attire, but it still played an essential role in their lives. It provided protection from the elements and allowed individuals to identify with their social group or occupation. In addition, clothing also served as a form of personal expression and decoration for the lower classes. While their garments may not have been as extravagant, could still personalize their attire with accessories like jewelry or decorative belts. Overall, the fashion of ancient Egypt's commoners was a reflection of their practical needs and cultural norms. Now let's delve into the fashionable world of the queens of ancient Egypt. These powerful women were not only rulers, but also trendsetters in their own right. Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, is perhaps the most famous Egyptian queen in history. She was known for her intelligence, charm, and yes, her impeccable style. Cleopatra loved to experiment with her look, often incorporating elements of Egyptian and Greek fashion. She was particularly fond of elaborate headpieces and bold makeup, which she used to accentuate her features. Nefertiti, on the other hand, was an Egyptian queen who lived during the 18th dynasty. She was the wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten and is remembered for her stunning bust, which has become an iconic symbol of ancient Egypt. Nefertiti's clothing and headwear were typically more modest than Cleopatra's, but no less elegant. She often wore long flowing dresses and headbands adorned with flowers or feathers. Her style was a reflection of the shift in religious beliefs during the Amarna period, which emphasized a more intimate connection with the sun god Aten. These two queens represent just a small sample of the many stylish rulers who lived in ancient Egypt. Each queen had their own unique look that reflected their personality and the cultural context of their time. From Cleopatra's bold statement pieces to Nefertiti's more understated elegance, the queens of ancient Egypt continued to inspire fashion enthusiasts and historians alike. While the pharaohs and queens of ancient Egypt received most of the attention when it came to fashion, the common people had their own unique style as well. The ancient Egyptians believed that clothing could convey social status, occupation, and even religious beliefs. The pharaohs and members of the ruling class wore elaborate garments made from linen, wool, and leather, often decorated with intricate patterns and precious metals. These outfits were not only meant to show off their wealth and power, but also to distinguish them from the common folk. On the other hand, the average Egyptian citizen wore more practical and simpler clothing made from linen, a lightweight fabric that was perfect for the hot Egyptian climate. Men typically wore a loincloth or a short kilt-like garment, while women wore a long dress or a wraparound skirt. Although the commoners' clothing was not as flashy as that of the elites, it was still an important part of their daily lives. It provided protection from the elements and allowed them to participate in religious ceremonies and festivals. Additionally, clothing also served as a form of personal expression and decoration for the lower classes. They could personalize their attire with accessories like jewelry, belts, or decorative items that reflected their individual style and cultural identity. Overall, the fashion of ancient Egypt's commoners was a reflection of their practical needs and cultural norms. Despite the stark contrast between the clothing worn by the elites and the common folk, it's important to remember that everyone had a role to play in ancient Egyptian society, and their clothing reflected that. The legacy of ancient Egyptian fashion can still be seen today in modern-day fashion shows, where designers often draw inspiration from the bold colors, intricate patterns, and luxurious materials used by the pharaohs and queens. The iconic headpieces worn by the Egyptian royalty have also made a comeback in modern fashion, appearing in everything from magazines to music videos. As we bring this journey through ancient Egyptian fashion to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the enduring legacy of the pharaohs and queens. These powerful rulers not only shaped the course of history, but also set trends that continue to influence our world today. From Cleopatra's bold makeup to Nefertiti's elegant headbands, the fashion choices of the Egyptian elite have left an indelible mark on our collective imagination. But it wasn't just the pharaohs and queens who had a sense of style. Common people of ancient Egypt also had their own unique fashion sense. Despite the stark contrast between the clothing worn by the elites and the common folk, it's important to remember that everyone had a role to play in ancient Egyptian society, and their clothing reflected that. Today, we're lucky enough to have some of the finest examples of ancient Egyptian clothing and jewelry in museums around the world. These artifacts not only give us a glimpse into the past, but also serve as a reminder of the ingenuity and creativity of the ancient Egyptians. So the next time you're planning an outfit, take a moment to appreciate the rich history of fashion and the influence of ancient Egyptian style on our world today. Who knows, you might just find some inspiration in the bold choices of the pharaohs and queens of old. Thank you for joining us on this journey through ancient Egyptian fashion. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories from history. And if you have any thoughts or ideas for future videos, please share them with us in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Till next time, stay curious and keep exploring the wonders of our past.